Now, clergymen of the United Methodist Church, UMC, that were kidnapped on the 19th of December 2023 have regained their freedom. Announcing their freedom in a statement in Jalingo, the Director Correctional Ministries of the Southern Conference of the United Methodist Church, UMC, Reverend Philip Micah Dopa, gave the names of the clergymen as Reverend Elkanah M.K. Ayuba and Reverend Simon D. Ezra. He said the released clerics were among the persons kidnapped in Yoro Local Government Council of Taraba State a few days before last Christmas. The church had earlier threatened to resort to self-defense if both the state and federal government continued to be lukewarm towards the activities of bandits and kidnappers in Taraba. Although the final amount paid as ransom was not made public, the church had earlier expressed sadness that despite paying 11 million naira to secure the release of the clergymen, their abductors still held them hostage. Reacting to the release of a kidnapped clergy, the Commissioner of Police, Taraba State Command, CP Joseph Eribo, said that the police are aware of the situation and are working to halt the spate of kidnapping and ransomware in the state. He advised the church not to embark on any form of protest, but rather give the police useful information that will lead to the arrest of criminal elements, describing the kidnappers as common criminals who live among the people. The Kaduna State Police Command said its operatives have arrested an alleged notorious criminal reported to specialize in snatching motorcycles in Dambami village of Hunkuyi local government area of the state. The command spokesperson, ASP Mansur Hassan, who confirmed the arrest in Kaduna on Friday, said the police team, in collaboration with Kaduna State Vigilance Service, stormed Dambami village and arrested the suspect. He said that in the course of the investigation, the suspect confessed to committing the crime. Hassan further disclosed that the suspect mentioned some names of accomplices whom the police are now trailing to ensure that they are arrested. He appealed for timely and useful information from the public to enable the command to effectively secure the area. Unidentified persons suspected to be gunmen have burnt the palace of the traditional ruler of Iseke community in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State, Igwe Emmanuel Nnabuife. This is coming about 1 week after a former convoy driver to late Governor Chinwoke Madi Nuju was allegedly kidnapped by gunmen after performing the funeral ceremony of his brother at the same Iseke community. Confirming the incident, Igwe Emmanuel Nnabuife said his house was burnt by the gunmen, adding that he does not remember having any problems with anybody to warrant burning down his house. The Anambra Commissioner of Police, CP Aderemi Adeoye, who also confirmed the incident, said the police are investigating the case. Away from security matters, the jubilation in Kano has taken over the streets as supporters of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf turn out en masse to celebrate his victory at the Supreme Court. Trust TV's Idris Jibrin reports that the celebrations are signposting the popularity of the Kano State governor. His report.
These are hundreds of supporters from the New Nigeria People's Party in Kano storming the official residence of Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso in celebration of their victory at the Supreme Court, which declared Abba Kabir as the duly elected governor of the state. Dressed in their usual colors of white and red caps, these supporters are happy that their governor has won the final battle. They say it is now evident that the Nigeria's judicial system is indeed working. Trust me, I cannot tell you how happy I am today. We are indeed very happy. By seeing all these people around, you know that something big has happened in Kano. God has made it for us, and Konkosia is working. And I can tell you our governor is working. We are very, very happy today. Honestly, I have been sick since yesterday. And even this morning, my wife was asking me to go out. I refused to go out. I told her I am not going anywhere. Until around 12, when I asked my wife to give me my radio. On listening to the radio, I heard that our governor has been declared as the winner at this Supreme Court. I quickly came out are rushed to this house. I am telling you, we are very, very happy, and I have never expected that this will happen to us today. Back on the streets of Kano metropolis, hundreds of men, women and children turned out to celebrate the victory, despite the presence of armed security personnel who have been deployed to prevent breakdown of law and order. According to these supporters, Governor Abba Kabir has already laid a solid foundation for the development of Kano State. Hence, they hope that the governor will use the victory to come up with various development projects for the development of Kano people. You can see that God has made it for us. We have been saying it, that we have won this election, and the Supreme Court has made it happen today. Now, this shows that the judicial system is indeed working. And we believe that Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf will continue to do the good work he has already started for the good people of Kano State. You are seeing the good work he is doing, and this work will continue for the overall development of the people of Kano State. At the moment, the people of Kano are anxiously awaiting the return of their governor, who was in Abuja for the announcement of the judgment. However, security operatives have since been deployed to ensure adequate protection of lives and property as the celebration continues across the state. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In Bauchi metropolis, a wave of reactions swept through the streets following the Supreme Court's verdict on Friday, upholding the election of Senator Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed as the duly elected governor of Bauchi State. The lead judgment delivered by Justice Ibrahim Saulawa affirmed the earlier decision of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, validating his re-election for a second term in office. Trust TV Sadamo Imam reports.
In the aftermath of the Apex Court's decision, stalwarts from both the People's Democratic Party, represented by Musa Azari, and the opposition All Progressives Congress, represented by Uzaifa Yari, share their perspectives on the development.
Well, I want to congratulate the people of Bauchi State because this victory is not for His Excellency Senator Bala Mohammed, it's for the good people of Bauchi State who have been reaping the good benefits of his leadership. Right from 2019 to date, we have seen development in healthcare, in education, in agriculture, and in social development of the people. So the congratulations is to them. They are the winners of this Supreme Court verdict.
We have accepted the decision of the Apex Court, but I am not happy, but I'm still expecting the best. And I'm praying for the best for my states, for myself, and for my candidates. And we are hoping that the incumbent governor will try to maybe learn from what we said during the campaigns and maybe correct some of the mistakes that is having some kind of negative impact on the lives of the Bauchi people.
On the other hand, some residents of the state had already begun expressing their opinions even before the official announcement of the Apex Court's judgment.
Well, and it was quite too unfortunate for the kind of things we've seen, exactly from the opposition, the way they look at things, that is kind of more or less like a game, that everybody will not accept defeat under any circumstances, that he will just go ahead to go for a court. The choice of God is the choosing one, not us. But my hope for that Allah has already chosen us the best.
But my hope is APC win. But if whatever Almighty Allah do is all is okay.
Prior to the announcement, security agencies, including the police, had issued a statement assuring their readiness to protect lives and property during and after the judgment. After the verdict was delivered, the atmosphere in the state remained calm, with citizens going about their daily routines. At the party secretariats, the PDP Women's Wing displayed their excitement, while the APC camp maintained a calm and somber demeanor. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In the same vein, the residents and party supporters in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are reacting to the Supreme Court's judgment affirming the election of Governor Caleb Mutwang as the governor of the state after reversing his sack by the appeal court. The appeal court had earlier nullified the election of the governor on ground that the governor was not validly nominated by his party, following the party's refusal to conduct congresses. Ado Musa completes the story.
Displeased with the decision of the appeal court, Mr. Mutfwan, who won at the State Governorship Election Tribunal, challenged the decision of the appeal court at the Supreme Court. Delivering the lead judgment of the Supreme Court's 5-member panel on Friday, Emmanuel Ajim held that the sponsorship of a candidate for election is an internal affair of a political party, adding that Court of Appeal lacked jurisdiction to determine the validity of the candidacy of the PDP. Party supporters and some residents of Jos speak on the judgment.
First of all, let me give God the glory, because what happened today at the Supreme Court is just a testimony that we still have hope in the judiciary, because the Supreme Court is not being compromised. They have done their job, and it's very clear that our case is a pre-election matter. But some bad eggs went and manipulate. But at the end of the day, the victory is ours. So we give God the glory. In fact, I am very, very happy with what the Supreme Court did, because now, because the appeal court did not follow the due process in passing out judgment, but the Supreme Court was able to look into the judgment and set it aside because it was a pre-election matter. Our reaction is we are just thanking God for the Supreme Court for giving us our mandate. As they did not follow about money, but they do the right thing. They gave to who won. We appreciate them, and I'm so happy with what our government are doing on the case that they do the case with truth. I want to really thank the government for that, the lawyers for that.
I can say that I'm just happy that everything has been carried out peacefully. What we are praying is to have a leader who is very determined, and somebody who is ready to carry everybody along and to ensure peace and harmony among citizens in the state. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever Supreme Court judgment has passed is okay by me. All we pray is that peace should reign in Plateau State so that meaningful development will be achieved.
It has been a 10-month legal battle between the PDP and the APC. With the Supreme Court pronouncement of the winner, political pundits believe that all the tensions and uncertainty will be laid to rest, while the governor focused on delivering dividends of good governance to the people. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, persistent or analysts forecast persistent naira scarcity due to ineffective monetary policy. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigeria Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free, and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding, and participation, please contact 081-5176-4600 or 080-3392-8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Abducted Taraba clergyman regains freedom. And jubilation across APC and PDP as incumbent governors survive Supreme Court's ruling. Now moving on to other stories. The President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has appointed 11 new chief executive officers for agencies under the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture and Creative Economy. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Nglale, announced this in a statement on Friday. According to Nglale, those appointed are Tony Akerele, Director General, National Theatre; Shaibu Hussaini, Director General, National Films and Censors Board; Obia Sika, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, as well as Aisha Adamu Augi, Director General, Center for Black and African Arts and Culture. Others are Ekpola Do Ebi Koinyan, Chief Conservator, National War Museum; Ahmed Sodengi, Director General, National Gallery of Art; Chalia Shagaya, Director General, National Institute of Archaeology and Museum Studies; and Khalchume Bolama Ghana, Artistic Director, National Troupe of Nigeria. Also appointed are Otumba Biodun Ajiboye, Director General, National Institute for Cultural Orientation; Alinuhu, Managing Director, Nigerian Film Corporation; and Ramatu Abombo Muhammad, the Director General, National Commission for Museum and Monuments. According to the statement, Tinubu charged the appointees to discharge their duties in accordance with the highest standards of professionalism, diligence and patriotism, with a view to making the creative sector more vibrant and robust. The naira scarcity in parts of Nigeria is set to continue if policy changes are not made by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now this, according to the financial expert, is largely responsible for the shortages in circulation as Nigerians groan over the impact of the scarcity on their livelihood. Chamunda Bank's report is presented by Trust TV's Abdurrahman Omar.
The idea that a country's legal tender could become a scarce commodity seems quite far-fetched. However, this was and is still the reality for Nigeria. The Naira redesign policy has since been reversed, with both the old and new versions of Nigeria's major denominations now coexisting as legal tender. The Central Bank of Nigeria has also suspended charges for cash withdrawals above regulatory limits. But despite these moves by the CBN, the cash crunch has still continued, further inconveniencing Nigerians who have been asking why.
It's not people buying FX. How many people are buying FX? There are less than 2% of Nigerians. We should be thinking about 90-95% of Nigerians that are in rural villages and even in some urban centers. Their interest cannot be more than the interest of generality of Nigerians. The interest of generality of Nigeria is what we should look at. And the only people that can address that issue is Central Bank and other things by their supervisory role.
In spite of moves by the Central Bank of Nigeria to put an end to naira scarcity, Hussaini insists that more needs to be done, especially as they hold a supervisory and regulatory positions. He further stated that the CBN must do something to control the activities of POS operatives, as well as regulate the amount of naira being used to purchase foreign currency. This, according to him, can be done through banking operations. Notwithstanding, government seems to be in a fix in terms of addressing the country's FX dependence and jobs provided by POS businesses.
You remember the people using Naira to purchase FX, and then they are ready to use Naira at any length to buy FX. And that is one of the possessive factors why the scarcity of Naira will always continue. Then the second major problem, which we are not addressing, is these people, this POS business. People like to take their Naira to POS and not to the bank because of the interest they are likely going to earn. And therefore that issue will continue to persist. Because it was so strange that you can go to POS, collect as much as you want, but you cannot go to the bank. You can see the contradiction there.
As the naira scarcity persists, Nigerians are calling on the government to act fast in order to put a permanent end to the problem.
In business, the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery in Lagos has started production. The largest single train refinery in the world, located in Nigeria's commercial hub, began operations in the early hours of Friday. This followed the delivery of 6 million barrels of crude supply to the refinery. Billed as Africa's biggest of its type, the refinery could be a game changer for Nigeria's economy when fully operational by helping end the country's reliance on fuel imports. The initial run will be for the production of diesel and aviation fuel before moving out on the petroleum outputs. Also, it says that though one of Africa's largest oil producers and the continent's top economy, Nigeria relies almost totally on imported fuel and diesel because of a lack of refining capacity. As the Dangote refinery begins production, the Port Harcourt refinery is also expected to start production. From the international scene, the World Health Organization, WHO, on Friday confirmed that Cape Verde has become the third African nation to be declared malaria-free, even as the disease continues to kill hundreds of thousands of people on the continent. The Atlantic archipelago of about 500,000 inhabitants followed Mauritius in 1973 and Algeria in 2019. Worldwide, some 43 countries have been certified as malaria-free by the WHO, which requires showing that the domestic chain of transmission has been broken for at least 3 consecutive years. The disease is particularly present in Africa, which is in 2021 accounted for 95% of deaths and 94% of contamination. Children under 5 represented 80% of the deaths in Africa, the WHO said. Matsidiso Moeti, who WHO Regional Director for African, said Cabo Verde's achievement is a beacon of hope for the African region and beyond, as it demonstrates that with strong political will, effective policies, community engagement, and a multi-sectoral collaboration, malaria elimination is an achievable goal. In sports, Super Eagles coach Jose Paciero has adjusted the team's formation ahead of their first group game of the African Cup of Nations, the AFCON, against Equatorial Guinea. Report says changes to the team are necessary due to injuries picked up by some key players and the absence of Kelechi Iheanacho. Super Eagles would play with only one fit striker, Victor Osimhen, with Sadiq Umar, Victor Boniface, and Kelechi Iheanacho all out of the first game. During the team's training session on Friday, Osimhen was kept aside from all physical contact, a precautionary move as the only fit striker in the team. The team captain, Ahmed Musa, was deployed to the role of a backup striker. Initially picked to play in his natural role as a winger, Musa is now expected to go into the first game as the deputy striker in the absence of Murphy, Iheanacho, and Onuachu. The 3-time African champions will begin their quest for a 4th title on Sunday against Equatorial Guinea before facing Ivory Coast on January 18th. Their last group game is against Guinea-Bissau on January 22nd. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.